And thank you for having us in your home on this Tuesday night. We're getting into the middle of the work week, and we're going to see a lot more of this. This is our America's Mattress Live Tower Cam, kind of a mix between clouds popping up throughout the day, but we're going to go with mostly clear conditions. And with that, we should readdress this leaf peeping situation. We're just dealing with minimal color around the Grand Valley, but you get into the higher elevated areas like Delta and Montrose, and I'm not talking extremely high, 500 to 1,000 elevation difference between these two. And they're starting to see some patchy colors in Delta and around Montrose. But you get up to the higher elevations, and especially on the Grand Mesa, you could argue we're really close to peak. But when you think about the lower elevations, Grand Junction, Delta, Montrose, we have at least through the mid and late October before we get to our peak opportunity. So make sure if you're looking for color, make sure you get to those higher elevations. It's happening fast. The season's changing. And with that, I should talk about this freeze warning that's going on up around Steamboat Springs. Now, we had a situation this morning, and we're going to do it again for tomorrow morning, and this will go till about 9 a.m. We're expecting temperatures briefly to dip down to the upper 20s, and that's enough. That is enough to get your sensitive vegetation, your plants, your flowers, and I'm really concerned about the bumblebees that live in the upper Yampa. Now, generally speaking, they hang around here in the springtime, then they go back home into Steamboat Springs and spend the summer, but now that the cold air is arriving, those bees are probably going to head out to California for their bread and butter, their real job, pollinating the almond crop. So yeah, cold air has arrived in our mountain communities, specifically for Steamboat Springs. We don't get that chilly temperatures down around the Tri-County area. We will have some cool lows in the morning. It's about where we should be for this time of the year. You may or may not feel the difference between 49 and 45, but we have that cool air, and I think that is something you're definitely feeling. On radar right now, there's not a whole lot going on. Satellite imagery, we have a few clouds lingering around the western slope. Mostly those clouds were anchored around elevated sites like Mount Garfield, the Grand Mesa areas to the east, also the Uncompahgre. If I pulled this image out further, you would see storms around Durango and Cortez. Those storms are exiting the state now. They're putting down some rowdy numbers. We're seeing some rain, some lightning, some gusty wind, but that's exiting the state. And that's all part of our overall picture because we still have that lingering front, which is affecting the Four Corners region, but not so much us. We're going to continue to clear out our skies tonight. We're heading into a clear, quiet evening, stars, planets, even that moon. We have a full moon coming up on October 9th, so that's something you might want to prepare for, or even getting outside right now. You could argue flip-flops or no flip-flops. Of course, if you put a sweater on in the morning, by early afternoon, you're going to be roasting. You're going to shed that layer. So I know the kids in high school like to work with t-shirts throughout the fall season, and then even into winter sometimes they'll get away with those short sleeve shirts. Tomorrow afternoon, again, the focus will be to the southern zones, Cortez, the San Juan Mountains, and there's even some opportunities to get some fresh snow in the upper elevations. We're talking above timberline, 12,000 plus feet elevation. So that's not a surprise, but we are going to continue, and it's all because this is just hanging on to the tail end of our stationary front around the Four Corners region. Now there's a lot more energy in New Mexico and Arizona. They're getting a lot more showers and thunderstorms with flooding concerns, but this dragging across our southern zones keep at least the divide, Alamosa, Trinidad, and portions of Durango, Cortez, San Juans back in with the rain showers tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, the rest of us have this northerly influence. We get the drier conditions, we get the clearer skies, we maintain really good temperatures, pretty close to the averages for this time of the year. Getting into and through Wednesday, that cold front, which this was our weekend system. It's still dragging across the area and it's making its way towards the eastern time zone. But once we get past the midweek, there's actually another cold front in Canada that's going to dip down into the upper 48. And as we get closer to the weekend, this cold front will actually back right in as a backdoor front to Denver, Colorado Springs, the Front Range. So that'll create some active weather for the late weekend period. In the meantime, we still have this battle between a developing high pressure system off the eastern Pacific and this cutoff low pressure system associated with our stalled front. So we're going to watch this, how it depends, how it's going to work out. But this is going to likely pick up some moisture and feed it right back into the southern zones. High pressure system likely will fade overhead and try to suppress that. So we're going to see a mix between partly cloudy skies and chances of showers and storms in the mountain zones. All the while, heading through the midweek period, we're going to work on our temperatures. Average high temperature for this time of the year at Grand Junction is about 73 degrees. I'm not going to argue. We're there. We're there for the rest of the week and even getting into the upcoming weekend. We'll start to see some clouds developing. I still maintain dry conditions, but can't say the same for the mountain zones. Montrose, our average temperature is about 71, so a little bit cooler, and our lows are firing on all the cylinders that we need them to. So cool air in the morning and nice mild afternoons with some sunshine, but we are going to watch the mountain zones.